Hello everyone. Okay, this is going to be my first braces video of 2011, and this is going to be foods to avoid when you're on a date or any kind of special occasion. Some of the foods you want to avoid are going to be a lot of vegetables. Vegetarians are in trouble. If you have broccoli or cauliflower, skip that on your plate because the little bits at the top come off and they can get entangled in your braces. They can get caught at the top here, at the bottom, and underneath here, and sometimes it's hard to feel, and even just rinsing your mouth out with water usually doesn't clear out those things. It might do a little bit, but they can get really stuck in your braces, especially if one of those little, like, puffy pieces at the top get caught, like, here. Like, get caught on one of the little hooky bits. That's going to cause you some problems. Anything that's shredded in any way, shredded chicken, shredded beef, anything shredded is going to give you issues when you have braces, because it will get wound, I should say, and trapped on your braces. And sometimes you can feel it and it won't come out, especially if it gets caught in either of these back places or anything where you put rubber bands, like here or here, anything like that. If you like your vegetables, and you like, if you want a salad, or a salad is the first starter and you want to eat something, make sure it's big and leafy. Big chunks of spinach, whole large pieces of lettuce won't get trapped. They won't wrap. They won't be able to. Shredded, like sliced or shredded lettuce and spinach, not the best. But if you get them in like the chunks and large leafy pieces, those are okay to eat too. The best meat, in my opinion, to eat when you have braces is a hamburger. One, because I'm biased about hamburgers, as they are my favorite meat. Two, because when you get chicken, it has veins in it, and it's stringy. You know what I mean? It has like a bit of stringiness to it. Meat, like a hamburger, does not have that. It's just a big chunk of meat that gets chewed up easily. The pieces don't wind around the lines of your braces like the actual metal strips. Steak has a bit of stringiness to it. Pork chops have stringiness to them. Ham is also good, like whole ham. There's not a whole lot of stringy with that. Turkey, it depends on how big it is, but it tends to be poultry tends to be stringy, just in general. So if you really want duck, do be aware of stringiness. But like meatloaf is perfectly fine. Meatballs you shouldn't have too much of a problem with. Sausage you should be pretty cool with. Now granted, everything's going to get stuck in your braces just because that's how braces are. But if you avoid stringy stuff like chicken, shredded lettuce, broccoli, things like that, cauliflower and whatnot, those things won't wind. I mean, those things will wind, but other stuff like hamburger, leafy vegetables like whole spinach won't wind in your braces, and they'll actually come out when you rinse them off. If you get a bit of meat stuck in between your braces, most of the time rinsing your mouth out, just rinsing it out, will take most of that away. Bread, if you're going to eat bread, and I know this is hard to do with a hamburger, but if you're going to have bread, I recommend trying to chew it in the back, because it tends to just just get chunked really badly in your braces. But if you eat it in the back, your mandibles, this part right here, and your buccinators, which is your bone here, will chomp it, and it will be less likely to get in the front. Because if stuff gets caught in the back, it can be annoying to you, but at least no one will see it. And so if rinsing your mouth out doesn't get that out of there, then it's not as big a deal. Yes. Other things to avoid. That's pretty much it. Oh, candy. Avoid caramel. Caramel you're not supposed to eat anyway, but I really highly recommend avoiding the Snickers bar when you're out on the date, just because gooey stuff, Sour Patch Kids, gummy worms, gummy bears, anything like that, Starburst, Skittles, I hate Skittles, but those chewy candies will get stuck, and sometimes, this has happened to me twice, where if you're chewing it, it'll get caught right here, and it'll like stretch and get caught down here as well. And so then it becomes hard to open your mouth and move, and it gets trapped under there, and it takes forever to get out. Caramel, any kind of a soft, chewy, fruity candy. It doesn't have to be fruity, but those kind of candies tend to be fruity. Those will get caught, and you want to avoid that. Because you don't want to because it can take forever, even with a toothbrush, to try and brush it and scrape it out of there. And when you're on a date or when you're at an important meeting or anything like that and you have braces, you don't want to be in the bathroom trying to brush your teeth perfectly. But it does help if you excuse yourself to go to the bathroom and you brush your teeth after the date or the important meeting, after the meal has commenced. And I recommend getting water or, what is that stuff called? Juice. I can think of juice. That's terrible. Just because their milk is thick, even skim milk, and it can kind of, and so are like wines and things like that. They're kind of thick, and milkshakes, those are thick, and so they're not as likely going to be able to loosen stuff up because they're just going to kind of splash against the food that's trapped. But water and juice are very, very malleable and are more likely to wash away stuff that gets trapped in here. So if you take a drink of water, you're probably sloshing away a whole bunch of, it's gross to say, I know, I'm sorry if you have a weak stomach. But it's better than having it sitting out there for your date or whoever to see on your teeth, yeah? So, those are things that, if you're going on a date, things that you want to avoid eating, or if you're on an important meeting of any kind and you happen to have braces, you don't want to have a chunk of broccoli just stuck in your teeth, because even though you just ate and everyone knows that it just got there, it's gross to look at. And most likely they won't hear whatever it is you're saying, no matter how intellectual, wonderful, mind-blowingly I already said intellectual, but like philosophical it may be. If you have something stuck in your teeth, that's probably all, especially if it's a one-on-one thing, that's all they're really going to focus on. Unless you have like one of those giant, long, like mansion tables that they always show in movies, where one person's at this end and the other person is 2 miles down at the other end. In that case, don't care. But for the most part, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful, and I will talk to you later. Bye.